Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to the second installment of That's What's Up. Um, as promised, I'm going to be breaking down this last preseason game and telling you what I think about some of these players we saw. We're not going to get to everybody because I made a ton of notes. I mean, I pretty much had something to say on every single play. Player sticking out. I know that's what the coaches are usually doing. They've got tons of notes. There's people upstairs watching this stuff, and they're doing what I'm doing. Although they get paid to do it. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good effort. We didn't come out with the win. Close game. Preseason. You know, the games don't, like they say, the games don't count, but they definitely do matter. A lot was on the line, and there was a lot of guys that I thought were going to make strong runs for roster spots here. And it's going to be really difficult to break this thing down to a 53-man roster, which is going to happen tomorrow. That's the deadline for the league now for cutdowns. They're not giving people much time to make their assessments. The game was it. So, right off the bat, Nassib played a little bit. I wasn't super impressed, but I wasn't unimpressed. He was doing a little bit of telegraphing with handoff. You know, they're doing this thing where it's like a half a second. It's obvious which way the ball's going to go. I can see how somebody would coach that if you're going to do play action to try to get defenses to move one way or the other. Personal preference, I just don't really like that. So there was that. He looked a little slow to release at times, but when he did, he had a pretty decent ball. He didn't have a really good 15-yard strike downfield. Looked really good. I like that. I think that he won't make the roster. I don't think he'll be even a practice squad guy. I don't think. That's just my judgment for right now. I think they played him as much as they did to maybe get him over to some other team. Maybe get a little money or something for him. He'll probably be a decent backup. So that's Nassib, however you want to say it. Haoli Kakaha looked really good. I believe he's going to make the roster. Probably not be a starter, but he'll be like a third down guy. He had great effort, really good job stuffing the run. When he was in, he seemed to be in the mix in some kind of way, whether it was getting pressure or just run stuffing or assisting in tackles. So that's good stuff. Kakaha will be there. Our long snapper, Dornbos, is back. Had some time off. Didn't look good at first, man. The balls are all over the place, low, high. Long snappers should not be delivering ducks. They should be spirals every time. I was a little worried about that, but it definitely got better as the game went on, and they got him some good work. Once he gets rid of the ball, he's doing a good job kind of moving people around. So not he probably gets a good C. You got to start off better than that. We can't start games with bad snaps and things like that. So first thing that happened, Will Lutz goes for the kick, low trajectory again, gets it just swatted. Bad stuff. I mean, that should have been 3 points right there. That probably would have won us the game. Like I said, they don't count, but that should have won us the game. He did make a couple other field goals. But those kicks, he had one attempt that was plenty long. Had plenty of leg on it, but drifted right. But it was still low. He's got this low trajectory, which, that's a good way to get balls swatted. So I guess with Will Lutz, we have to kind of trade that because he's got leg. He can kick a 60-yard field goal. So there's that. Kind of here nor there. He will be kicking for us. We're not going to bring anybody back. Lutz is going to be the kicker. That's just it. Excuse me. So, next person, 97, Muhammad. He had a really good game. He had a couple of big plays. One big pancake block that I thought was awesome. He just straight up put a guy right on his back. That was pretty cool. He made a couple other plays in the game that were significant. He'll be around. We'll see him. Cadet got some carries. He looked a little iffy at first. Some bad cues. My thing about Cadet is he's a hard runner. He hits the hole with authority. You know, people usually bounce off of him and stuff. He's not a big spin move guy and making people miss. He just wants to punish you, which is cool. I think you're going to see Cadet on the roster again. They're going to put him special teams. He did make a punt return where he looked pretty indecisive. I don't like that. If you're gonna run, you can't just stand there and look for a minute. You got to make a split-second decision of you're gonna go right, left. What are you gonna do? Because people are running full speed on those kick returns. So they clean up that indecisive stuff, and I think Cadet will do fine. Maybe he'll bust one this year. That'll be cool. Who else we got? Damian Swan. Looked good, real good. He made a couple of really good open field tackles. Historically, the Saints have had problems on defense with open field tackling, and it looks like that Dennis Allen is cleaning that up, and they're swarming to the ball. When somebody does get a one-on-one situation in open field, they're going for the numbers and not the ankles or something where they're missing. Because I noticed they were doing that in the past, and I hated it. I was like, somebody needs to coach these guys up and tell them to hit. I mean, even in high school, we're told aim for the belt. Get them in the numbers, because if you take the hips out, the man goes down. So, anyway, that was Damian Swan. He'll look good. We'll have him. He will make the roster. Von Bell, another guy, made a big-time hit in open space. He pretty much decleated a guy. I guess everybody's seen that clip of Reggie Bush. There's like several of them where Reggie is like out on this little swing route and just gets hammered. It was kind of like that. We got next Mollet. He'll do good. He'll make the roster. They're gonna sign him. He'll be a special teams guy for sure. Maybe they'll put him offense and move him around a little bit because he's got speed and he's pretty athletic. He got the big play that Coach Payton was talking about for special teams. When you see these guys, you want them to make the roster. You want to see something special out of them. Mollet did that. He got the forced fumble and the recovery, which is clutch because right after that we went and scored. So next up is Garrett Grayson. If you watched the first episode, you know kind of where I'm at with Garrett. He looked more decisive, but it didn't look... I mean, we were switching guys around on offense, so he was getting hurried a lot. He stands in the pocket strong, but, he was getting hit a lot. And he's still staring down receivers a little bit, which is a problem. He's got to get the ball out quick. Now, he does have arm strength, which I think is hurting him a little bit because he had 3 or 4 passes that were just dropped. I mean, he's hitting guys in the hands at pretty good velocity, and they're just dropping them. So the receivers aren't helping him out very much right there. It's going to make it hard to be a good quarterback and have guys dropping balls. But he was okay. I think Grayson makes the roster. Nassib will go on to somebody else. They'll release him. I mean, they've kind of made a commitment, with Garrett Grayson, so I think they're going to stick with him. Next guy, Chase Daniel. I was pretty impressed. I mean, they've got a little bit of a slow thing going, but they started chipping away and they started to kind of settle down a little bit. Chase has good legs. He was showing that he can run out of the pocket when the play breaks down. So he does create that kind of a threat. He's a smaller guy, so he's a little harder to tackle. They did get a helmet to helmet contact call on him. Um, I think he slid. He probably should have slid a little earlier than he did, but hitting hitting the quarterback in the helmet with the head. I mean, Garrett Chase was actually spinning around, like a turtle on his back after he got hit in the head. So you know he got swatted pretty good. He got early. They were going downfield. They were having trouble, but he did make two clutch calls on third down with the hard count, and that's Drew Brees. That's one of his favorite tricks. Is like third and short or whatever. You just get him on a hard count. He did it twice. They threw a flag for him because he said he head bobbed, but he barely, because he was yelling, just barely bobbed his head. So I thought that flag was stupid. It's a bad call. So I give I credit personally Chase Daniels 2 hard count snaps, but one of them did convert third to first down, so that was nice. What else? He had that little screen pass where he kind of jumped up and he landed crazy on his ankle, and boy did it look gnarly. I mean, he just his ankle was like just completely all of his weight on it and folded it over. Luckily, that turf, if you guys have ever been on those kind of fields, it's really spongy. It does feel like walking on a sponge with fake grass on top of it. So that probably saved Chase from breaking his ankle, because the way he landed on it was just really tough. So he plays the rest of the series. They go down. They score a touchdown. A nice strike to Josh Hill. Josh Hill, I think, is going to make the team. He'll be one of our tight ends, and no problem. That drive, I believe Chase was 8 of 11 for 94 yards. Touchdown pass. So, pretty good. One of the last things we'll get to, super impressed with, I said it before, Thomas Morstead and our special teams. They look awesome. The kicking team is really standing out, and I know that people don't usually talk about it, but it's important, and I need you guys to understand why I keep saying this. When our offense isn't getting the production, if we have to go third and out or whatever, and we're, say, on our 35 or whatever, when we can flip the field and get them back in their own red zone, which we did several times in this game, and a couple times we had them down in their own 1. That is tremendous. It helps us a ton. And it's going to have big effects in some of these games. So Thomas Morstead, he's got it going on. I hope he stays healthy all year. Our guys are getting coverage downfield. Awesome. Special teams play, especially in the kicking game. Awesome. Love it. Love to see that. Another guy that stuck out huge, Big Hill. Man, this guy's a tank. I mean, he's shorter dude, but he's got one heck of a motor. He's got wheels, man. He's all over the place in this game, and he played a lot of it. And he was out on the defense. I mean, the defense was on the field quite a bit in this game. And I was just really impressed to see him out there and still getting after. I mean, this guy was, Canadian League, all-pro kind of guy, So, he's jumping routes, he's swatting balls down. He seemed like he was in on every play. You just saw the guy. I was very impressed with him. He will make the roster. So, I'm trying to see if I had any other significant notes. There's some other guys that were around. There's some drop balls. Calhoun almost made. I have this one. He had a play where he almost got the pick six, and it would have been brilliant because they were right there close to the end zone. It would have been a 10-yard trot if he'd have just got his hands on the ball. That kind of stuff I know that some of these guys are second and third teamers, but when those guys are stepping up like that, and they've changed the culture of our defense, which is what I like to see, and we've got athletes there, guys that can play. And I think it's a combination of how we're coaching them and the guys that we're getting to coach. We've got the right guys. They're creating this culture. The defense is getting after it, and I really like it, what I see so far. We're going to get a pretty good test. Minnesota, it's going to be the opening game of the league. Monday night, huge. We'll see how we do on the road. I mean, this is going to be a big show of how our season's going to go. These first two games, because they're big. And we got to go on the road. We got to go to London. It's going to be tough. So overall, I pretty much like what I see. I'm still going to stand on how worried I am about Drew Brees and the offense. I hope that they start getting their rhythm, and they're going to need it to beat Minnesota. They're going to have to be on, because, like I say, I think we're going to have to score 30 points to win the game, and I think you're going to see that a lot for more of these games. Most of the games we play, we're going to have to score a lot of points to win. 30, I think, is going to be the average. So that's it for this second edition of That's What's Up. I hope everybody's staying safe and dry out there. No things are going on. We had all this stuff in Houston. So please be careful out there. And don't forget, who dat?